And we're back. So that was day one. All of that, including getting lost in Bournemouth and all that kind of stuff, happened on the Saturday. And then we went into the second day. Now, it was a separate tournament because we wanted to make sure that people who could only come on the Sunday or people who could only go on the Saturday wouldn't miss out. This was kind of one of our things that we worry about with 2 day tournaments is, you know what, there's a lot of people out there who've got very busy lives and it's quite a commitment. So we had the opportunity to have 2 different events to really kind of just maximize the opportunity to come down and play. And it also meant that we could sneak in a sevens tournament. So Sevens Sunday was 4 games of sevens at a much smaller window than the 10 till 6. It was 10 till 4, 600 TV, so 600,000 gold pieces, standard 7 build rules applied. There was tiering, there was skills. Tier 1 got 2 skills, Tier 2 got 2 skills and a double, a secondary skill, and Tier 3 got 2 and 2. So Tier 3 teams in sevens would get 2 regular skills and 2 double skills. So there's potential there. Again, the same tiers applied. Now, I know that in sevens, the tiering split doesn't feel right in some cases, but hey, it's the best we've got. And actually, there's whatever system you roll, guys, there's going to be teams that benefit. So if you look at tier 1 right now, right? Amazon, Chaos Dwarf, Dark Elf, Dwarf, High Elf, Lizardman, Norse, Undead, Skaven, Underworld, Wood Elves. Some of them are going to do better with more or less skills than the others. There's always that flex, and the same is true of sevens. But we had, in the end, 44 teams turn up on the day. We had 50 something registered. We had 5 Necro, 4 Skaven, 3 Dark Elf, Human, Lizards, Nobility, and Renegades, 2 Amazons, 2 Black Orcs, 2 Elven Union, 2 Orc, 2 Snotling, 2 Wood Elf, a Chaos Chosen, Goblin, High Elf, Khorne, Norse, Nurgle, Undead, and Underworld. So this one, there was 21 of the 29 different teams available. Only Snotlings and Goblins as tier 3s here, so no Halfling teams, no Ogre teams. But I mean,
yeah, not a huge amount of stunties.
No, really surprising actually. I think sevens is a good place for stunties. I mean, we kind of showed that with our series. So
you get the bench, which sometimes you really want in sevens. So, yeah.
But I guess the new kind of, so there was no Chaos Dwarf, no Dwarf. I get that. Yeah, Halfling, yeah, fine. Ogres are very good, I think. OWA in sevens is a challenging one. I mean, Trips, you basically are OWA correspondent here as well.
Yeah. It's
being the only one in the world who plays the team.
Yeah, it's the classic. You need 5 positionals to make it work.
Yeah, otherwise you're just better off running one or the other.
You're going to be a bit tight with your players.
So we had no slan on Sunday, and I accosted Orchestra about this. I was like, dude, where's the slan for sevens? Like, come on. He said, you know what, this is one of the first time I'm properly running slan on a tournament, and if I have a horrible day with them Saturday, I do not want to play them again on Sunday.
That's fair.
Yeah. And I was like, he's like, so I'm playing, so I'm taking Skaven because it's like I know what I'm going to get with them. I was like, actually, you know what, that is very fair. And we had no Tomb Kings and no vampires, which, you know, makes a lot of sense. Tier 1, 17 teams, 38%. Tier 2, 24 teams, 55%. And Tier 3 sneaking in there with 7% of the teams. I mean, Tier 2 is probably what you want to push. I like the idea of having more Tier 3 teams, but I wouldn't really want to give a team 5 skills in sevens. That's just getting to it seems unnecessary. But what it did do is it meant that almost every team you could run and have a good time with at sevens, and I'm chuffed with that. I mean, were you guys surprised by the splits in any way, other than the lack of stunties?
Again, just the lack of Khemri and Chaos Dwarf. Like, I think those 2 teams that we see quite often in tournaments, especially recently in the new edition.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So there should have been a Khemri team on Sunday. Joe Solo. Registered Khemri team.
Oh.
Too hungover to play.
Yeah. That happened with people.
So
some people intentionally knew they would be and didn't play in sevens.
Oh, you and I were quite worried about staying over in Bournemouth and whether or not we were going to be suitable for running a tournament the day after. That was a desperate caffeine morning. after the haunted hotel and the alarms going off. But no, I mean 5 Necro, Skaven, right? Necro, Skaven, Dark Elf, Human, Lizards. Yeah, they're all great in sevens. They feel great in sevens because you've got basically all the toolkit. Lizardmen don't have the ball handling skills, but they've got both strength and insane speed, which makes Lizards a great team. 3 nobility. There were some really different builds. We had the ogre build. We had like just stuff, and renegades really well represented this weekend. Chuffed with that. So good Black Orc teams in there as well. Some Elven Union dancing around and Orcs just doing Orc stuff. You look at this roster here, and every team here has got a good couple of builds for sevens. I think that's why it's so good. I mean, there's no team that has a bad build, with the exception of Nurgle. But I think we're going to come to that in a second, because that was I think that was Scarfang, you know. And it was, yeah. Okay, so results after round 4, because our sevens event was 4 rounds. We had Lizardmen, Daryl McFedrin coming first with 97 points. Now, 97 points. We had a slightly different scoring system in sevens. It was 20 points for a win. Everything else was the same. So instead of 30 points, it was 20 points. And that's because we were doing an overall tournament weekend winner when it comes to total points. So we didn't necessarily want people to be able to score 120 points for the sevens day. We wanted to kind of even it out. So it's 20 points apiece. So that's got to be a 4-0, right, Ben? For Daryl McFedrin there? At 97
yes,
points?
I believe it was.
And then, so 97 points. Then Bob Davies, Puckster with Necromantic in second place. Skaven third. Michael Jones, Laracian. James Scarfang with Vanilla at Nurgle here. And we're going to look at these rosters in a second. And we had another Necro at 5 with Baron 1. All close. I mean, the top 3 players, 97, 94, and then 82. So Lizards, Necro, Skaven, and Nurgle doing really well. Let's have a quick look at some of the rosters. Let's delve into them a little bit deeper, because the sevens, it's not going to take us very long at all. So Daryl's roster was a Croxagore, a Saurus, another Saurus, and 3 Skinks. No rerolls, 1 assistant coach coming in at 595, 2 block Sauruses. That was the skills. You got 3 movement 8 stunty dudes, 2 strength 4 blockers, another strength 4 blocker, and then a Croxagore. It's just, you got speed, you got strength. We saw a lot of Lizardman rosters. I mean, they make sense to me. What do you guys reckon to this one?
We've always known Lizards are strong in sevens. The Skinks are just a hell of a scoring threat at their cost. The fact you can have 3 of them and then the strength 4 to back them up. I love Lizards. I really want to play this at some point.
Yeah. So,
and we should give Daryl real credit, because he's 6 months into playing Blood Bowl. So that's not bad for this. And I think he turned up Sunday morning having been exhausted by his first day of 11s on Saturday night, and he was umming play or not. I think he made the right choice to play sevens, and he played that team really well.
Yeah, I did.
He knew he was in a pressure situation from game 2 all the way through the day, and everyone went after him, and he held it.
Awesome.
Is it worth saying now as well that Daryl took the overall winner as well?
Yeah. How many points overall was he at the end?
He had 97.
Yeah.
Plus, I think was it 168 overall?
That's an incredible outing. That's such a good result. I really do like linked events with points totals, because
81 on Saturday.
It just, I mean, you can spike a tournament, but then to come up with that amount of points consistently 6 months in, I mean, Daryl's a lovely guy as well. So it's, do you know what? Everybody on both of these days was so much fun. It was just really great. We're either just desperate to help us out, like, hey, can I tidy up? Hey, do you need some help putting stuff out? What can I do? It was just awesome. Like, it was just absolutely awesome.
It means a lot.
I'm just gutted we couldn't spend a little bit more time. So Puckster came second with Necro. We had Werewolf, Wraith, Ghoul Runner, Zombie, no rerolls, no gear, 1 assistant coach, bang on 600, 2 block Werewolves, and a tackle Wraith. So this team being tier 2 gets them 3 skills. Tackle Wraith is a great one. A nice safety, positions itself really well in sevens. But dude, 2 werewolves with block. That's huge coverage. Necro just terrify me. But then I that's probably because actually I play every team like Skaven, so I have invariably got somebody open somewhere who I need, and werewolves are like a massive rock paper scissors I'm going to eat you fest.
It's a lot of money in sevens though. Is
Oh
it 280k? Oh no, 240k for
yeah, I mean you 250 for the werewolves alone.
250.
250. Of course, they're 125 now, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. With the Wraith is a decent player. So 3 blockers, 2 of them are movement, 8 with strength, with frenzy, and that Wraith with tackle is a great safety as well. I mean, that's defense. That's huge. And then you've got the Ghoul with dodge for movement 7 and 2 movement 8 pieces as well. That's a significant scoring threat. I think that's a really solid build. Really like that one. And then third place we had Lauratian with Skaven, Blitzer, Runner, Thrower, Lyman, and a reroll, I think. Block on a Gutter Runner and block on a Thrower. So the old Milton build. But I mean, 4 blockers then. Everybody's movement 7 or movement 9. You've got a dodge piece, you've got partial hands and a team reroll. Skaven in 7s, they're so flexible.
Yeah. Like we said with the scoring threats, it's those movements just are force multiplied in sevens when you have these movement 8 and 9 piece. Really, really scary.
Yeah,
you get a high kick into the mid zone and you're in trouble.
Yeah, and you're not reliant on 1 or 2 players moving around. With a team like that, you can swarm like your snotlings, but they don't fall over and go squish.
Yeah, everybody's a catcher when you're movement 7. Well, let's just look at a couple more rosters. Got to get Scarfang's Nurgle roster in here. So Scarfang's whole mission this weekend was to prove that Nurgle can still win, that vanilla Nurgle can still do really well. Ended up flipping top 10, top 5 of the 11s tournament, and then 4th in 7s. Bloater.
Overall third, I think.
Overall third, that's insane. So Nurgle were tier 2, so 2 primaries and a secondary. Bloater, Pestigore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 linemen, so 9 players here. 2 guard bloaters and a leader Pestigore there. You look at that roster and I think I don't know, it feels a bit suboptimal. Like, the bloaters are slow, you've got guard. Guard is useful, but it's not always amazing in 7s. And leader on your Pestigore, and your Pestigore is your scoring threat. And you think, well, Nurgle are kind of slow. All wrong. Scarfang played tight, great positioning, used that guard to just get the Pestigore and the Rotters to just, one well-positioned guard piece, and if you can make a Rotter strength 4, that is game-changing. And 2 bloaters, you've got two pairs of strength 4 players. The clever thing here, and I wouldn't be surprised if this isn't how it played out on the pitch sometimes, is that bloater in conjunction with a Rotter, you're essentially sneaking an extra positional with those guard pieces, because that gives you 5 strength 4 players and a Pestigore, and that can be pretty strong on the pitch. Oh, I blooming love 7s. I absolutely love 7s. 7s is so good. It's my absolute favourite. What else do we have?
Should mention it sometimes.
Oh, and Gary. I had to put Gary's in here as well. So we had Daryl win. We had Bob Davies with the Necro for second. We had Michael Jones with Skaven. Scarfang Nurgle there. Stunty Cup went to Gary. Gary's a madman. Travels down for our tournaments. Always brings some nonsense. I think this was Pump Wagon Troll. So Snotling roster here. Train Troll, Pump Wagon, Flinger, a million Snotlings. Did he even have enough cash for a reroll? No rerolls. Went with Strong Arm on a Troll, Block on a Troll, Pile Driver on the Pump Wagon. I think that's potentially brilliant in 7s. As you get a really solid blitz there with no Loner. No, Loner doesn't mean anything in 7s, but Jugs and just the ability to Mighty Blow +1, then Dirty Player +1. You should be able to just take somebody out. And an accurate Fungus Flinger to just absolute maximize the bombing disasters. It's just such a good roster. Thought that was really good fun.
And paid off.
Yeah, and ended up winning Stunty Cup, which I'm so happy with, because that's just such good fun. And a really good mix here. So Lizards, Necro, Skaven, Nurgle, Necro top 5. Xavier Disley, Doc Miniature with Elf Union came in 6th and won best team, with a beautiful Elven Union team with a really beautiful display board as well. But the team was painted really lovely. So best team, we asked people to leave them out over the lunch break and let people vote. That's one thing that was flagged up on day one, is that there wasn't enough time in the lunch tray. Everything was too busy to get around and have a proper look. We still had plenty of votes, but I felt like there were more votes on day 2 because there was a little bit more time, a little bit more space. So a really close combat. There was a couple of other teams that did very well in that competition as well. John Allen with Dark Elves, number 7. Pierrick Dubois with Necromantic Horror came in 8th. Simon Warriner with Renegades for 9. Drew Creedy with Humans at 10. Graham Pickett, who didn't run Dwarves, he actually ran Chaos. Which was that's my fault. I just assumed that Graham would be running Dwarves all the time, and he wasn't. That was me. Sorry, Graham. But you really should be running Dwarves. Rich Allsworth with Norse for 12. Logan Creedy at 13. Logan was hard fought this weekend.
Yeah, it's worth shouting out. Logan really put in a lot of work there, and during the 7th round just had a real bad 4-1s in a row that really just threw it, and you can't do much against.
Nah, I mean,
but really was going over for the overall trophy there, so well done to Logan.
Yeah. Sarah Jane Priest with Elf Union coming in 14th out of 44 on this day. We were so excited because she won her first round. It was like a 2-0 or something, and we were like, "Oh wow, this is amazing!" And then 60 points must have gone on to win at least another round, maybe 2-1-1 for the day.
It was 2-1 followed by a sorry.
No.
Followed by a 3-0 loss, unfortunately.
Oh wow! But that's just.
However, did pull it back with a 2-2, and then it was a 2-1. Yeah, so win, loss, draw, win.
Oh, that's so good. Christopher Stevenson with Skaven came in 15th. Charles Nurser with Lizardman in 16th. Jonathan Basie G with Blackhawks. Jamie Mortimer with Underworld. Gareth Harris with Imperial Nobility. We'll come back to Gareth in a minute. David Thompson with Orcs. AJ with Amazons. Richard Alderson with Necromantic Horror. Orkster with Skaven on the day came in 23rd. If only you'd run Slan, Orkster. 24th, Jonathan Redmond with Khorne. Great to see Khorne on the 7th pitch. That's scary. Simon Malpass with Wood Elves 25. Paul Harmer with Humans 26. 27, James Fawkes with Dark Elves. Wood Elves with Alex Evans 28. Lee Doherty with Black Orcs 29. 30, James Priest with Lizards. 31, Barry Nixon with Imperial Nobility. 32, Jack Crosswellow Quackers with Necro again. Callum Mills 33 with Elves. Stephen Padley, Dark Elves 34. David Priest with Chaos Chosen at 35. Chris Crawford 36th with Orcs. Gary Doherty with Snotlings 37th, but still taking the Stunty Trophy. Paul Harrison McSnagger with Skaven 38. Jason Thorne with Goblins. Luke Down with Nobility. Jake Homewood with Shambling Undead. Aaron with Amazons, and then Lee Pollitt with Snotlings, and Adam Pike with Nurgle. Didn't go for the fouling times this time, but did win the participation trophy. So most casualties went to Barry with Nobility with 10, and Dirty Player. This was great. So this was awesome. This was Gareth Nobility. Ian, talk us through this.
So Gareth had the unfortunateness, or depending on which way you look at it, to run into Adam, and remembered Adam well from day one, and managed to get 8 fouls in a 7s game, which was by far and away the most fouling there was. There was a real kicking of by his Nobility team, and you got to give a shout out. He got 2 fouls with an ogre. Which is, if you're going to do it, that's how you do it in style.
So this was a proper villain origin story, and it was so cool to see this unfold, because it just got a proper kicking literally
I
the day
think
before and was like, nah, I'm not having this. Getting my own back. I don't care if it throws my game. Ogre, everybody's fouling. Just what excellent way to bring it back. Just that
I think
revenge
didn't
dirty player.
Adam I think handed the slip back with just sort of a look on his face and was just like, yeah, I deserve that. It was just like, I can't expect anything else really.
You see 8,000, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, they're working hard. Then you remember that it's sevens. You're not always going to get a chance to foul, and there's only 12 turns, and it's like, oh, okay. And then he mentioned two of them with my ogre. It's like, wow, absolute commitment to the cause. I, I
So good.
thought it was absolutely superb. I love this. And this is one of my favourite things about these tournaments. Is you get these little stories, and it was so good being able to have that carryover. But I mean, sevens is a shot of Blood Bowl, and that Saturday, the tournament hall was packed. We had 60 plus players, and it was combat. And then sevens on Sunday, 4 rounds. We took away a bunch of tables because we didn't need the double width table. The individual, I think this was Scarf. Was it Scarf McSnagger? Yeah, it was Paul. Paul who suggested this because we had like double lunch tables across for the full 11s pitch. He's like, don't need them. Just roll one, then you don't have to lean across. Excellent piece of advice. So we collapsed half the tables down, and it worked brilliantly. Players had more space. And I don't know if it was just because we'd gone through the big day on Saturday, because you recognise the majority of the coaches. There was 44, and I think 30 something of them had played on the Saturday. So you knew where stuff was. You knew who people were.
Mm-hmm.
We had a bit more time. I thought Sunday was absolutely brilliant. The chill, the story, the gameplay.
It was chill from us. We weren't playing.
That is very
I'm sure
true.
there was some real. I'm sure there was some real
atmosphere
sweat coming out.
it was so much more like a club night almost. I think
it
people
was.
knowing each
Yeah.
other, that being a bit closer. No stars, I think, makes a big difference. And I mean, we've seen it with sevens before, but it's a quick game, and you have a bad couple of turns in sevens, and it's okay, because in 40 minutes' time, you're going to be done with that game and thinking about the next one.
Yeah, you're going to be having a bad time on the next pitch. But I thought it was great. I mean, it was a brilliant way to end it. I really liked having both the different formats in one weekend. I know that a lot of places do a 2-day tournament with essentially 6 rounds of Blood Bowl, 5 or 6 rounds of Blood Bowl. But I thought it was really good to have the 2 different events tied together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I am massively biased because I think sevens is just the best way to play Blood Bowl. Anyway, because I am just convinced of it. But there was palpable gravitas on that Saturday. It was a coliseum. It was awesome. It was just an absolutely epic experience. Was there anything you think we could have done differently on the Sunday, guys? The tables was a good shout.
I think it was good. I think the fact we wrapped up early was good, and I think that was well received by quite a lot of people. It was not. While we did say having a longer breaks on the 11s could have been really good, I think on the 7s it was good that we did finish early and we didn't have these longer breaks. Because lets people get home, especially people who are have long trips and catching flights and things. You're
And
finishing
some
at
of the
6,
games, were finished quickly on the second day, and people didn't have that long gap. And I think we've got to say a massive shout out to all the players on Sunday. We were seriously worried about having enough pitches to run a sevens tournament with that many players, and everyone delved deep into the backpacks and round the cars and found the pitches. And Entoyment was raided of anything that approachingly looked like a sevens pitch on the stand as well. So thanks to all the coaches for that. We had a lot for Sunday, and it really worked well with the time and effort that the players had gone to the teams. And looking around at the teams out on the pitches for best team at lunch was really impressive.
Yeah, I took photos of all of them on both days, so I'll put the little videos in over one of these segments as well. Tournaments are really interesting for me. The the cultural aspect of it is incredible, because you've got such a mix of the whys and the wheres. Why are people there? How long are they there for? Where are they coming from? Where are they going? You got kids, you got uh, family guys with young families that need to disappear and can't be there massive. So our normal tournament thing is rock up 10 o'clock first round, done by 6, so you can get back to whatever you're doing. But that Saturday, actually, I think if we timed it out better because of the BIC, we'd probably end up doing 9:30, 6:30, on the next one, to give enough time with a little bit of extra breaks, just to make sure that they've got that extra 15 minutes at lunch and that 15 minutes extra between rounds to make sure that everything's okay, because it takes a lot longer for 60, 70 players to find where they're going than it does when you've got 30. That's just a baked in cost that actually I hadn't considered when we did the timing. So timing's what we normally use for all of our other tournaments, but actually the more, there's always a bleed of time. So I think that's something we can definitely learn from. I mean, and then balancing that desire to be there all weekend as a getaway versus I can only come to the Saturday and pop down. I don't know if I will ever be able to figure out the sweet spot, because it means so many different things to so many different people, and just massive props to all the people who travelled for an event and for 2 days, and it's just so awesome. And I'm really happy that there's so many people that could pop across and so many people who travelled down. It's just amazing. It just really is. The first time I've stayed away for a gaming event, even when Ian and I went up to Warhammer World, we were done by 9 o'clock, and I was like, "Do you want us to go home? Because we'll be home just after midnight." Okay. And I have a driving problem, so when Tiff and I were due to come back from Scotland, we went to bed and it was 11:30, and neither of us could sleep, and I just said, "Do you want to just go home?" And then we just drove 8 hours back through the middle of the night. So I was like, "Oh, might as well just go now." So I'm a bit weird when it comes to that, but actually, I don't know, man. After going out, having beers with people on that Saturday night and being right there at the venue, it was really good fun, and I'd really like to do that again sometime.
It was
I look forward to the next one.
Yeah, loads of people in the same place, all sharing a passion, and everyone was there to have fun and have a good time. So really great atmosphere from everybody, and hopefully lots of people met new people and enjoy spending time with them.
Yeah, it was wicked. Now, guys, before we move on to the last bit, which is what's next, which will only take a couple of minutes, anything else you want to touch on for the tournament weekend?
I think we covered a lot of it. I think, just to everyone else there.
I think, well, isn't it great to see tournaments of a decent size coming back, and no additional rules of tables of 6 and all of those variants that we've been through over the last couple of years, rules of Blood Bowl and variants of other things. So
much. And now we can start planning these events. We can start committing to them. We're going to have a lot of fun. And that leads to the next segment, which is what's next from us. So tournament wise, for the rest of this year and probably next year, this is what we've got coming up. So Dorset Dungeon Bowl on the 7th of May is already out there. We've sold half the tickets already. It's going to be at Entoyment. We're providing the dungeon pitches, so you don't need to worry about that. You just need to bring a team, and it can be regular teams or college teams. So if you've got a Norse team, if you've got a Halfling team, you do not need to worry about having a dungeon or having a Dungeon Bowl team. You can just bring your standard team. So get your tickets booked up for that, because I'm really hoping that I think we'll probably sell out. And I think just the prospect of having 40 people playing for a proper trophy, the proper Dungeon Bowl trophy that we're going to have, is going to be absolutely buzzing. Super excited for that one. Then you two are going to be piloting the South Coast series. So the South Coast series is it's like a mini Beachhead. It's tournaments without traders. There's going to be some traders, but not a huge amount of traders. And that's going to be at the BIC in July, 9th of July. It's going to be an 11s event. I'm going to be in Italy on my proper honeymoon with the in-laws, which is a twist that I was not quite expecting. However, bless them, they did pay. So That's fine. Yeah, so I'll be in Sorrento. So this is going to be you two piloting the South Coast series. 1-day BIC 11s. Feeling good about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, wait.
20 weeks to go.
Yeah, I need not really thinking about prep for that. It should be good. Should be good.
It'll be good. It'll be
Gonna
really
rely
good.
on everyone being amazing again. So
I think with the lessons that you guys learned on my behalf for this one, I think it'll be fluid. And I think, well, you've already decided Milton's going to be helping, haven't we? I'm not sure we told him, but well, he's drunk at a Mexican restaurant stuck in Scotland right now because of the weather. So we could probably phone him and ask him now. I think
in which case he definitely volunteered about an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, good job, Miltonio Banderas. Then we've got 2 more events coming up this year after the July one. We've got a Sevens event on 24th of September at Entoyment. And then we've got Bonehead Bowl 22, which will also be at Entoyment 26th of November with mixed teams for the first time. I think, yeah, first time since this edition's come out. So we will get brewing up with those rules. South Coast and Dungeon Bowl already agreed by the NAF, already approved, already processed. So that is good to go. The South Coast Series tickets will be on the Entoyment website because it is one of those Beachhead style events. And I think Pete is going to try and get them up this month because they've got money off for people who played in Beachhead. All the Entoyment events will be on our website. And then next year, we're planning on doing both days of Beachhead again. We're planning on doing another Dungeon Bowl event at Entoyment again. We're planning on doing South Coast series. Whether we do 1 or 2 days in the summer depends very much on where the World Cup is going to be, where the Blood Bowl World Cup is going to be, and whether or not we can go, and whether we do go, whether we don't go. Obviously, guys, I would love to go to the World Cup to play Blood Bowl. I'd really love to go and do coverage. But I'm also very aware that there's going to be a load of people who can't afford to go abroad to play Blood Bowl at the World Cup. So actually, if we decide it's too much, it can't be done, we have done a really good job of upsetting Europe, that might make it more challenging for us to travel over. But it's going to be either France or Spain. Then I don't know, we might make the South Coast series a 2-dayer. We don't know when the World Cup's going to be. We don't know where the World Cup's going to be. So we'll have to, that will play by ear. And then we are planning on having another Sevens event, another Bonehead Bowl event. And so, yeah, we're looking at 5 events, 6 to 7 tournaments each year for the next 2 years at the moment.
Will you also just say, with Bonehead Bowl, with it being mixed teams, just after Dungeon Bowl, that's a 2-for-1. Yeah, if you come to Dungeon Bowl with your Dungeon Bowl team, you've got a mixed team ready to go for Bonehead Bowl. So do bear that in mind.
Basically, yeah. Wayne was talking to me the other day at the tournament. He was like, when are you going to do the mixed tournament again? Because I didn't get a chance to come to one, and I've got some filthy brew ideas.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, well, Wayne, what you need is another good way to win. But no, I think this is cool. We've got 2 11s, 2 7s, and 2 sillies, which I think is a great mix. And half of them are Entoyment, which is cheap, easy. You order food at the table while you're gaming and they bring it to you. I blooming love it. And then you've got,
I love that.
right, oh, it's so good, right? Like, we're there at the BIC, we're like, well, we've got 30 minutes, we need to get to the bar and queue and wait for the food and then pay, for a hot dog. And then a couple of months later, you're in Entoyment playing Dungeon Bowl and you're like, oh, I'm getting a bit snacky. I fancy a cup of tea. Scan the QR code and Carl will shuffle up in about 7 minutes with your goods and be like, hello, got some stuff for you. It's amazing. It's the best. I love Entoyment so much. It's just so good. They bring me tea to my table. It makes me so happy. Yeah, anyway, so we got a ton of good stuff coming. I've got a call with Pete as well to test out their Wi-Fi soon, so that we can hopefully, I'm really hoping, this depends on multiple things, I'm hoping we can stream the Dungeon Bowl event in Entoyment. That would be primo.
That would be good.
Yeah, we've got 2.5 months to get it squared away. Got the dungeon maps good to go. We can get them ordered at the end of this month. That gives us 2 months to do that. We're planning out. It's looking good. That means we're going to get to hopefully spend a whole month playing with technology, and it's going to be the same tech that we are using to film the Dungeon Bowl series. So it should align. I'm thinking, guys, that we might use the RPG room. Either,
Oh, yes, please.
yeah, I'm not
That
sure.
would be
Like,
good.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I want to do coverage, but I kind of want to keep the. You don't really want to do coverage while you're sat next to the people who are playing, because that can be
Distracting, yeah.
distracting. Is a very polite way of doing it. Yeah, but you know, you don't want to be on the telestrator being like, "Oh no, he's left it wide open here," and just hear them go, "Where?
Yeah.
What have I done?"
Or I don't know, put the top table down there and consistently tell them how close they are to racking up the points or
Oh,
not,
that's the
and that we
best.
can see some coaches sweat.
Yeah, it could be interesting. But the RPG room, even if we, one thing I was thinking is actually depending on how employment's laid out, and this is what I need to sort out with Pete, is if the table the other side of the RPG room,
Oh, you got a little. Oh, sorry, that's
yeah,
dreamer. You've got a little announcer's booth. Oh,
yes, but
incredible.
we should, because of everything we use is all just USB cables for the actual filming.
Yeah.
Assuming they've got standard like office roof access, they may even have, I'm assuming that's the best I can do, we could chuck the USB cables through the roof, we could have the booth set up in the RPG room, top tables just next door, they're playing a standard game, we can then cast it from the booth with the feature match table.
So good.
Yeah, but got to go over there. In fact, Trips, I'm going to be in Toyman tomorrow picking up our Warcry stuff, so I'll be sure to have a nose, and hopefully I can have a catch up with Pete about, hey, how good's your internet, and how would you feel about us using your e-commerce line? Probably not good, but yeah, we'll see what we can do, because that would be so sweet. Because then everything we do in Toyman, we could then stream. The BIC though, really challenging. I had a chat with I think it was Alex from the Adeptus Titanicus crew, or 40k Adam, one of the two, and they said actually getting a dedicated decent internet at the BIC was like $2,000 or something. We'd need a serious Kickstarter for that, so yeah, that would be a bit of a shame. The only thing I can think of is that we might be able to find a way to get a 5G hub to do some streaming, but then the volume was so loud in there.
Say the volume, you can hear about 3 people left or right, and that's about it.
Yeah, but
we had 400-500 gamers in a room playing. That's it's a great noise, but it's noisy.
yeah, we'd have to figure out a nice way to do it. I went so far as to have a look to see how they did it for the Magic the Gathering tournaments they used to do, which was like hundreds of gamers as well. Significantly quieter game, but they have a feature match area that is just away. So they had a feature match area the size of our area for 8 matches. So they could do that stuff, and they had a booth that was separate in a different zone. Oh my god, you know how it could work? If we had the corner booth again, we put the casting booth round the corner through that door. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, I'm getting way ahead of myself, but it's just because if you can't come to a tournament, but we could stream the games, I don't know, man. It would just be so good, because I can't always get to tournaments I want to go to because of the real world. I'm very lucky. I don't have a huge amount of commitments at the moment, but I do have some. And just, I don't know. Anyway, lots of exciting stuff coming, and lots of Ben and Ian kind of keeping me grounded, / Ian keeping Ben and Ben grounded. Because
yeah, I was going to say, I don't do you any favors, mate.
no. Ian, you've got a very busy year and a half.
Counting of time. I'll stick to that.
Right. Anyway, I think we should probably wrap up because it is nearly tomorrow. So, guys, thank you so much. Sorry for the delays. Sorry for the power cuts. And thank you so much, Ian and Ben, for all of your hard work for these 2 tournaments. And I think this is a real stepping stone. And everybody out there who came to Beachhead, has come to one of our tournaments before, is planning on coming to one of our tournaments in the future. The only thing we care about is our players having a good time. And if you've got suggestions, if you've got recommendations, wish lists, that's what we want to know about. How can we do it better? What have you seen somewhere else that's worked? What should we be looking at? Because we just want people to have an immersive and fun time, because Blood Bowl is a great game, and if we can make it special on top of being a great game, then actually that doesn't exist. So let's go make it. That's what we should be doing. That's the goal here. and I really want some great ideas. And if you don't give me ideas that are good enough to make Ian sweat, you're not trying hard enough. Because, just Ben and I got some. But yeah, Ian, thank you so much. Ben, thank you so much, guys.
No problem.
Always a
Right.
pleasure.
No, cool. Right, we're going to wrap up now, guys. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back soon with more Blood Bowl content. Happy blocking. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to help support the channel even further, please like and subscribe, or come join us on our Patreon. We have early access to content. We get loads of feedback from you guys, and we try and do competitions as much as we can. Or you can get yourself some Bonehead podcast merch on our Spreadshirt site. So if you want to support a team, especially for the Bonehead Championship, you can pick up a shirt, a mug, things like that. It all helps support the channel, and we really appreciate it. Anyway, links below. Thank you very much. Happy blocking.